Hey guys, long time no see. Here is the long-awaited vlog. These have been the last few months of traveling. Miles and I have been settled down in a town for about a month and a half now. But yes, this is what has happened before then, so enjoy! Miles and I hung out in Queenstown for a few days. We were awaiting the arrival of Miles's brother, Gray. Queenstown is notorious for its adventure sports. It's known for being the adventure capital of the world, and that's very literal. As soon as we drove into town, there were paragliders in the sky. On the lake, there was these jet boats, and just it felt like there's something crazy happening 24/7. I'm getting sweaty. Holy moly. Dang. We were camping in the parking lot of this bungee jumping place, and it was fun to wake up each morning and see people flinging to their death, but not quite death. This place is called the A.J. Hackett bungee jumping site, and it's actually the first commercial bungee jumping site in the world. Surprisingly, there were quite a few different art galleries in Queenstown. After Gray arrived, we headed to Wanaka. We went on a hike up Royce Peak, which is a super popular hike in Wanaka. The hike was pretty long and pretty steep, so we busied ourselves by thinking of funny and vulgar names for coffee stands and potential breweries. So that was a pretty fun form of entertainment. The view from Royce Peak was seriously so stunning, and in the background you can see the Mount aspiring. Yes. Both Gray and Miles could talk about sports and songs that they liked for hours. Their whole dynamic was so cute while they were laughing and being nostalgic with each other. This honestly was one of my favorite hikes. The glacier was really cool to see, and there was waterfalls and a river, and the trail was just nice and easygoing.
Lots of waterfalls. You know what that means. Okay, guys.
Gray rented this tent while Miles and I stayed nice and toasty in the van, and I honestly felt bad because he woke up with like icicles on his tent once, and it seemed a little chilly out there.
It hits me like a rock, oh wow, oh, oh. It hits me like a rock, oh, oh. It hits me like a rock.
Gray was only in New Zealand for about a week, so we really used every opportunity possible to hike. We walked around an old Chinese settlement in Arrowtown. It was a settlement for gold mining. It was impressive to see how these buildings were built into rock shelves or the landscape. They really used the natural features to create these structures.
Yum, yum, yum.
After popping up to Wanaka, we went back down to Queenstown, showed Gray the bungee jumping place, and explored some more. We got drinks on a floating bar, which was pretty sick.
I told Sydney, and she likes how John Mulaney looks, and I said he looks so nerdy. So I immediately...
Miles is dirty.
I think John Mulaney's a cutie.
Miles looks like Russell Brand.
No, but
Who's
doesn't
that?
Miles look like a dirty version of John Mulaney?
Dirty John.
I look like...
You don't know who Russell Brand is?
We went disc golfing twice when Gray was in town, and I think it's safe to say we all caught the disc golfing bug. Around this time, Miles and Gray went to the Milford Sound by themselves, and I stayed back in Queenstown, having a little me time. I hiked this really cool track up to where the gondola takes you, but I didn't want to pay, so the track was a great way to avoid that. At the top, there was this luge that people were racing cars on, and then you could see the whole view of Queenstown. And it even started snowing when I was up there, but it was kind of magical. This is a bit of Gray and Miles's perspective. I wasn't there, but I think it's important that it's included. They hiked Lake Marion, and they got some really cool shots. It had been snowing up at the top of the mountains there as well, so it looks really cool. Also, shout out to Gray for being a great cinematographer. He took all of these videos of the Milford Sound, as well as other videos included in this vlog. Gray and Miles went on a boat ride through the Sound. They got to witness some powerful waterfalls because it was so rainy. There were also some big bottlenose dolphins playing in the wake of their boat.
Yes, but it's just so big. You love playing the game. Oh! That ladder gave it a
After the Milford Sound, they returned to Queenstown, and pretty much the next day, Gray had to leave to go back to Seattle. It was sad because it was so fun hanging out with him. Okay, so Grayson, how did you like New Zealand?
Yeah, kia ora, mate. It's great. The natural landscape is just
They have great spades
out of this world. The beer's great. Wish it was a little bit cheaper, but Wanaka, great place. You guys go and visit. You gotta do the Milford Sound, and you gotta do Rockroy Glacier. Kia ora.
For a bit of extra money, Miles and I worked to take down this big tent that was in Wanaka for a festival called the Festival of Color. We met some other travelers there, and it was overall a really cool experience. It was the first time I've done something like construction-y, I guess. We finally left the Queenstown district area and we headed to Oamaru. It's the self-proclaimed steampunk capital of the world, and I was very excited to see what that was all about.
I've seen the videos of people riding bikes, like in their top hats and their fancy clothes, and all like that.
They had an area which was a few streets called the Victorian Precinct. It was very well preserved with cobblestones and the likes. The shops in this area are very artsy and steampunk inspired. We toured Steampunk HQ, which is a combo of a steampunk art exhibit and museum. After Oamaru, Miles and I stopped in Timaru and then headed up to Christchurch. We took a stroll through the Christchurch Botanic Gardens, and here is a dude in a gondola.
Favorite with locals and visitors alike.
In the center of town, there was this really cool indoor market we meandered through. We got a big dose of art, from the street art to we went to an art museum and then another art gallery. So it was very nice to have my art fix. Miles and I stayed a few nights in Brighton Beach, which is a suburb of Christchurch. I really liked this town because it seemed a bit rough around the edges, but it had a lot of soul. We happened to stumble upon a farmer's market here, and just in happenstance, the next town we went to that same day also had a farmer's market going on. So we ended up kind of market hopping, if you will.
When the rabbit is done, we'll take our leave and go.
We hopped over to another little town outside of Christchurch called Littleton, and Miles made the observation that it's probably the most hipster town in New Zealand that we've been to yet. After Christchurch, we hurried on up to a town called Picton that we had previously passed through because we were getting work there with accommodations. Thanks for watching. See you next time.